Hello. I don't know why I was waiting on someone else to start talking there. It's me hosting this week. That's a great start. Welcome to episode 71 of 3 Pints and a Clean Sheet. How are we, boys?
Good. No, not so good actually.
Top of the
Kyle?
pops.
What was that?
Top of the pops.
You're top of the pops. In that case, I've decided that we're going to start this in a different way this weekend. I'm going to come to you first, Robert. Describe your weekend of football in one word.
Abysmal.
Abysmal. Kyle, would you like to pick a word to describe your weekend?
I was at work, so that's probably the highlight.
Your football weekend.
Well,
One word to describe it.
Keith.
Hey, I've got one word to describe my go at getting people to describe their weekend in one word. Failure. That's not worked out very well. Robert, I'm assuming your abysmal relates to Queen of the South being beaten by Annan Athletic at the weekend.
Yeah, it wasn't a good trip to Galabank, to be honest. I don't know. I'll go for it now. The fact that Marvin Bartley's still in a job is beyond me.
As we speak,
the job
he may have been sacked.
Let's hope. I pray. But he'll still have another job of smiling on the telly and telling other people, telling the members of the public how managers in a higher league and a higher team with a better performing team should be doing their own job when he can't manage his own team.
That is true.
Who? I'm sorry, right? We're trying to get goals, and he takes off the big striker at half time.
What a good analogy. He could do run a bath.
Honestly, I was just, I was, to say I was lost for words is probably an understatement at the actual game itself, but to say I was lost for words after it was correct, because I gave plenty of words at the game. Just after there was no way to describe it.
I imagine that. If I had to pick one word, I might pick the classic English football word limbs to describe my weekend. I went to watch the famous Cardiff City against Ipswich Town, and Cardiff scored, being 1-0 down, Cardiff scored in the 95th minute to equalise and the 100th minute of 8 added on to win the game. It was nice to see a team in blue win for a change. I've not seen that in a while, apart from when I've been watching Scotland. One game that did happen this weekend was Liverpool 1, Manchester City 1. A big game that finally lived up to the hype.
Usually doesn't. Usually quite a shiter.
Yeah, but occasionally you get Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0.
Even that was quite a pish game.
I don't know, I quite enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was like a training exercise.
But no, that game was actually, I thought, pretty good. There are lots of reasons for Liverpool to feel aggrieved, which we'll get on to.
Yes.
However, Manchester City have to be delighted to come away with a point from that game. Liverpool, especially in the second half, created so many chances. Almost at will, like... Carry on?
I was going to say, I'm prepared this week in each game. I've got a few notes I've written down. The first note I've written down is great corner routine. Greg's point about the post needs highlighted though. You know, you're always greeting about no one being on the post.
Oh yeah, I had that. There's no one on the post.
It's such a well-worked routine that the players made the defender disappear. I mean, the positional awareness is great, and Stone pretty much taps it, and then he absolutely throws them in. I can't remember who it was that was on the front post, but he runs miles.
It was Ake and McAllister. But yeah, I thought second half, especially Liverpool, were cutting Manchester City open at will. And it was very rare to see a game with Manchester City in it, that Manchester City seemed to struggle to grasp a hold of possession, especially in that second half, and create good chances.
Other chances, though.
They had chances. They had the Haaland
Foden.
1-on-1 in the first half. They had the Foden chance.
And they scored. So that was about 3.
Scored for a set piece. But Liverpool made so many. Luis Diaz could add a hat-trick.
It's not his finest moment. But he did terrorise Kyle Walker a lot.
It did, and it's very rare that someone terrorises Kyle Walker. Like, Kyle Walker has pace.
I'm just going to go there and have you, and I'm not going to do it.
So was that.
That's for the premium content. Yeah.
Had Rodri and Kyle Walker on their backside, so that's a rare sight.
Rodri not able to run that midfield. Kevin De Bruyne take it off. Not happy with Pep. Really not happy with Pep that Kovacic was brought on, which, given the way the game was going, I can understand why he did it. Like, Manchester City were getting overrun in midfield at that point, and Kovacic, I can see why he brought Kovacic on to try and bring a bit of more order and more defensive but I don't think it worked.
Probably still a better
Yeah.
defensive player than Kovacic or Kovacic or Matailo.
Yeah.
My second point was written. I'll move on. Is Aki Schaff's Ederson even? That back pass is horrendous. I mean,
Wasn't the
it's in a
best.
position where he could have done a bit better, but I thought he's absolutely shocking to keep out. So Ederson getting the blame, but
Yeah.
really in that position, I don't know.
Could it be a red card?
No.
Don't think it's a red. He's not running towards.
Yeah,
the
he's
goal
not
I
going
think
towards
that
the
saved him. I think that saved him though.
Ederson,
I got
Ederson
away-
also. It's
I got
also
away
not
with
a
one
red
though.
because Ederson makes a deliberate. Like Ederson goes for the ball.
Yeah.
Good penalty from McAllister.
Yeah, why? I thought Salah was the taker. That was an observation.
He wasn't on the
Yeah.
pitch at the time.
I'm not gonna lie, I just watched highlights.
Liverpool looked a different team with Salah on the pitch. Like Salah came on the pitch and Liverpool looked
It's almost
a
like he's the
different
best player.
level. My question is though, Kyle, as a Liverpool fan, do you ever look at games like that and think we need a better option up front?
Not better, but maybe better options. If that makes sense.
Well, because the options that were selected were Nunez,
He's a decent player, but there's nobody. If he goes off, there's nobody to replace him.
but the thing is, Nunez also like he's not clinical in these big, especially in these big games, especially against big teams. You need to be clinical.
One of the points that come to mind is that absolutely cutting through ball that went through him and he threw 1-on-1 and skied it. I'm pretty sure.
He would work well with like a little man, clinical fella.
Yeah,
I don't know who, but somebody maybe a Salah, them two up front.
but then
He's Cyril
Gakpo
Dessers.
came on. Yes, clinical is not a word I've used to describe Cyril Dessers.
Clinical Dessers, is that not his name?
That was poor.
Anyway,
He stops back. I've never heard Greg speechless before. We've got a witness.
I quite enjoyed it actually. I might just start making more bad jokes.
Start.
I'm just
Right,
speechless, so I know when to cut it out.
Oh.
I'll say it again.
The other option that came on was Gakpo, and again Gakpo.
He's mince.
But he's also not a false nine. That's the role he's kind of been given at Liverpool. He's been given the Firmino false nine role, and he just isn't one.
I think he's just a false footballer. He's not very good. Don't like him.
You don't like him. Jarno Kwanzaa, I thought, played well.
He's had a good season.
He has, and Andy Robertson was fantastic when he came off the bench.
No, I noticed. I was following on like Score Centre. It seemed to picked up when he came on.
Yeah.
Senior player.
Yeah, Robertson and Salah both came on, and Liverpool just moved through the gears.
Let's just hope that Robertson stays fit for the Euros.
No,
Yes.
Just don't play him ever again.
That's a good idea. I'll support that.
No, I would too.
Then we get to the big talking point of the weekend, which and to suggest that this would be a talking point no matter what the decision was. I think that's a really important point to get in before we get to the VAR decision about whether it's penalty or not. If that's given, it's still a massive talking point.
Not as much so.
I think it is. I think it's a massive talking point, whichever way around you do it. For the referee, if he gives that on the pitch, that's when it's the smallest talking point. If VAR gives it, you've got the bound of people going, "Oh, we don't want VAR interfering and re-refereeing the game," and then there's the scenario where nothing gets given at all, and Liverpool are raging again. And to be fair, pretty understandably,
the boy's been kicked to the chest for no good reason, so you'd be aggrieved if it was your own team.
From what I've heard on Sky today, the VAR seemed to suggest, the referee on the field suggested that Doku got the ball, and he says, he plays the ball, which, to be fair, he does play the ball, he then just catches McAllister.
I know what you said. I thought what you said, but it's a penalty.
Yes.
He's kicked to the chest.
There's always a but.
You can see why, especially the referee can't see it very well, is the first point to make. He's behind it.
That's what the VAR's for.
He said, I've seen Doku play the ball, which is correct. Doku does touch the ball. You can deny that all you want, but there is a fact that Doku at some point touches the ball.
The ball of his bloody rib cage.
The problem is in the 90 whatever minute of a massive game, if the referee's not gave it on field, you can kind of understand the VAR going, I want nothing to do with this. It's a really terrible position, but that's the corner I think the Premier League have backed themselves into.
Get rid of it. If you're not going to make decisions, and get rid of it.
But that's the problem. There's so many people going, oh, there's too much VAR. So the Premier League went, right, we're going to employ a really, really high bar, but it has to be really obvious for us to change anything. Then you get a situation like that where it is a penalty, but because they say we've got a really, really high bar, they've got to get out of jail free, and they can go, nah, it's fine.
That'll be a free kick for us outside the box.
I agree. And I think the referee gives it on the park as a free kick if it's not in the box. I have some sympathy for the referee on the park to not give it. Then VAR has absolutely shafted him. But that's the problem when you have a high bar for interfering with VAR. Scotland, on the other hand, has the opposite problem of having too low a bar of VAR intervention, where VAR just interferes for no reason.
I thought it was just better in Scotland, but that's just me. Don't know why.
It definitely isn't. VAR used in Scotland. VAR in Scotland probably needs to go because it's making decisions worse.
But I don't think you really hear about it as much, I think.
You definitely do.
I don't really read the newspapers, so.
You're not following the same.
I don't live in Scotland, and I hear about VAR in Scotland and sports scene.
You're a saddle.
Right, moving on.
That's good.
The question being, what does this mean for the title race?
Makes it a belter.
Yeah,
it does. It makes an absolute belter. Arsenal on 64 points with 7 goal difference advantage over Liverpool. Manchester City on 63, again with a slightly worse goal difference. It's really interesting where this is going. You've got Arsenal Man City again this coming weekend, which is going to be an absolute belter.
Both lose. Hope they both lose.
That's called a draw, Cow.
No points. No point.
Surely a draw's the ideal Liverpool scenario.
Yeah, and no, just no goals scored, no nothing.
The thing is, right, so I would say Arsenal have by far the hardest running. By far and away the hardest running. Arsenal have Man City, Villa, Spurs, Man United, and Chelsea.
We got Man U there.
And they're 6th. And Wolves, they're playing 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 11th.
Top teams got to be the top teams. That's how you win leagues.
It is, but this time last year is also when Arsenal's title challenge fell its arse.
That's why they're not a top team anymore. Because they can't win these games.
I'm sure. I feel like that'll get a hefty clip this year.
Yes.
Prove me wrong.
I think it also depends how long the sides last in Europe. You'd expect Liverpool to win the Europa League. You'd expect Man City to win the Champions League.
5-1 up in aggregate in the first game.
Exactly.
Arsenal are going to win Hee-Haw.
Arsenal, they're also 1-0 down in the Champions League tie.
Not in going to the Emirates, so this.
It is going to the Emirates, but that's the other point is the more resources you have to expend to get through Europe, the less resources you have, especially when you're playing big teams. Villa at home, potential slip up. Wolves away, potential slip up. Brighton away, potential slip up. North London derby, trip to Old Trafford, home against Chelsea. At some point, it's going to be midweek because it needs to be rescheduled. Their running is by far the hardest. On the other hand, Liverpool have to play Sheffield United. Fantastic.
They'll get beat. Sod's law. They always throw away against the silly teams.
But the other question is, when did we last have a proper 3-way title race?
Would it not been in Leicester, wasn't it?
That I was searching my brain. That is when I can genuinely last think
and even
a proper
that was
3-way title race.
That was a push because it was just really Spurs and Leicester.
No, it was Arsenal. Arsenal ended up finishing 2nd.
Again, you never really heard of it. It was always them two. Leicester, Spurs.
Agreed.
Then Arsenal just spawned them. But I don't know. What?
Finished 2nd. It's not like they just didn't.
No, but you never heard about them.
Demerit it.
No, but
You have to be loud and be good at your work.
No, but like you go, they're in this, but you never really heard that. It was always Spurs have lost, so Leicester won the league.
I mean, that is the exact scenario that led to Leicester winning the league, but that doesn't mean that Arsenal weren't there and abouts.
I didn't say they weren't. I just said you never heard about them.
No, you did, because you said they didn't really matter because they weren't loud about it.
No,
Exactly what you said.
I said the media weren't loud about it.
I've found some supercomputing models,
Sure.
both of which have suggested that Manchester City are going to win the title.
Hope not.
One of them says that they're going to do it by 1 point. One of them says they're going to do it on goal difference. They've got a lot of goal difference to claw back, and Liverpool have to play Sheffield United. I'd question that. I think if it goes down to goal difference, Liverpool might have it in the bag.
Well,
The Arsenal got a good goal difference though, because they win games 5-0 all the time.
Which is weird, considering that a lot of the time this season we've criticised Arsenal for not having a centre forward and not being able to put teams away.
No,
Yet they have the best goal difference of all three.
They have a team of goal scorers rather than a goal scorer.
They also have the hardest running. So it makes sense that they've got the highest goal difference to now.
it'll be interesting to say the least, I think. Can they beat a good title race?
The thing is, Man City's next two games are Arsenal and Villa. They could feasibly drop points in both.
Well, they usually do. And against Arsenal, they can't seem to always do it against Arsenal. Recently, yes, but back in the day, maybe not so much.
You know, they also have a trip to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a ground where they've traditionally really struggled. FA Cup this year being the exception. That was the first time they've won at that ground, I believe.
Yeah.
I think so. They don't tend to win against Spurs either.
Exactly. So there are opportunities. Like, if you ask me now, in fact, I think we should all do this. Just one word, like straight away, who's going to win the league?
Arsenal.
I think Liverpool. I genuinely think Liverpool have it. Like looking at the run-ins, Liverpool have the best run-in.
I don't think I need to say who I think's going to win.
Man City, great.
Obviously, Man City.
Would like to win.
Yeah, the problem with Man City is they always. This is the time of year. I've said this God knows how many times. This is the time of year they probably kick off.
There's been a thing. They always just spawn these 2 games in hand.
Yeah, they don't have them this year.
They did. I think they made an arse of them because they played in the Club World Cup. So I think they just played them, just made an absolute show of them.
Anyway, moving on. It was the Scottish quarterfinals this weekend, and the last one is going on right now. It's currently Morton 0, Hearts 0, I believe. Craig Gordon back in goal for Hearts. Love to see it. You'd expect Hearts to get through that game.
I mean, you would imagine so, but
Never say never.
you never know it on a Monday night in Capital, in Greenock. People say in Morton.
Yes, Morton obviously knocking out Motherwell in the last round. The other interesting games of the weekend. I was going to go through them in order, but I want to leave the Aberdeen game till last. So let's do Celtic first. Celtic 4, Livingston 2. Livingston run Celtic really close, but can't hold on in the end. Did we see a better performance from Livingston in the cup?
Well, nobody really gave them a chance. Sorry, I just jumped in.
No, you're fine.
Nobody really gave them a chance, so they did well. 2 really good goals.
They were. They were 2 goals. Celtic seemed really high. They seemed to cut through Celtic really easily for those 2 goals.
It was the second one. There was like a 1-through ball, and it was like a 2v1 or something.
Yeah, and the first goal was a long ball over the top.
And just one touch finish. Essentially, maybe not exactly, not analysis.
I think there's a few touches in there, but
The
great finish. Greg obviously made me watch the highlights for the sake of the podcast, so I've written down 2 points. Two great Livy goals. I thought the first goal was really well taken. He's kind of cutting in from that left side. Hart's trying to make himself big and no chance. Hot bins. Second goal was just a great finish, to be honest.
Yeah, it's outstanding. The thing I would say is Celtic really struggled to put Livingston away. Like, I know it was a 2-goal win and fairly comfortable, and however, Celtic really struggled at times. They huffed and puffed. Livingston gave them so many chances to finish that game off, and they didn't.
It happened at, I can't remember who it was. Recently, they really struggled up until the end, and then they kind of pulled 2 goals in the last.
Motherwell?
10 seconds. I was going to say one of them, I couldn't remember.
That's
Anyway,
go
point
that
remains,
bench.
they seem to be kind of struggling to get to that point, and then obviously with the kind of squad depth and, let's be honest, player quality, they kind of pull it out the end. But you'd really think the team that are, still maintaining they're going to win the league would be wrapping that up. But I suppose the win's a win, so I can't really criticise too much.
I've wrote, what's the implications for the rest of their seasons? Livingston
the
are still doomed.
Yeah, I think the confidence is going to take it off from a Celtic fan point of view. Because I spoke to a few Celtic fans and I can tell they're scared, but they won't admit it. You can tell. But I just think in terms of the team, the confidence will go. They're kind of playing on this edge of, can we get the goals at the end?
But yeah, if Celtic play like that every game this season, they're not going to win the league.
They'll have for the most parts.
Bloody hope so.
They've played quite under par.
Especially recently.
Yeah. Fitz going off the gas.
Another point I wrote down is Greg going to talk about empty seats?
Yes, he is. It was on his list. Celtic Park was empty.
Chin popped.
No, they started empty. That's just embarrassing for any club. Leaving is tin pot.
Is it not a 50-50 or something?
No.
I don't know how it all works.
It was the usual allocation.
That's it. I thought it was different for the cups.
Not included in season tickets. Sunday afternoon on the telly, Celtic fans have went, no bother.
We probably you expect to win, so it's the point of going.
That's the other thing. It's a game that's should win comfortably.
It's just Livy.
The thing is though, if the season tickets aren't taking their seats up, there's God knows how many Celtic fans in this country that would want. I say this country, I live in Wales, in Scotland, that would love a seat at Celtic Park. So why aren't you going?
And probably labelled as a sellout on the website.
No, it definitely wasn't.
It was half empty.
Yeah, it was half empty. You could buy tickets day of. There was a lot of tickets going. Right. It's pretty poor from Celtic's point of view. The thing I was going to highlight from Celtic's point of view as well is that, unsurprisingly, for a player of his quality, having played for Bayern Munich's second team, being a German age group international and coming through Ajax and other places, I thought Nicholas Kuhn looked fantastic.
Did he got an assist or two?
He did. He looked really good.
That's what you say your players for, is to make a difference.
Yeah, that's a massive plus point.
Yeah, and I want to watch the highlights, to be honest. I can't really comment too much on that front, I am afraid.
We will move on to Aberdeen 0, Rangers 2. Plenty of talking points. Rangers make it through that one that we'd labelled previously when the draw was made as a potential banana skin. Aided in their way by Stephen McLean.
No chance.
Wasn't a penalty.
Clumsy, very, very clumsy.
For me, it's like the Yang one against Hearts, where as soon as the referee gives it on field, it's not getting overturned. However, I don't back it's a penalty. I don't think there's enough for VAR to overturn it. I just think the referee shouldn't give a penalty on the park. I think it should just be play on.
Personally, I think it's a penalty. Even with my boys.
Rangers fan believes Rangers should deserve penalty.
I think
I'm not going to lie. I'm like, trips him up. He's clumsy.
You get those tangles of legs. I think that's just kind of they're always giving us a penalty.
Sterling is looking for a reason to go down.
He's looking forward. He trips him up.
He's halfway down when he gets touched.
Ah, but you get told as a kid.
I can tell by the grin forming on your face that you're just trying to get a bite anyway.
No, I genuinely think it's embarrassing. It's penalty.
No, I disagree with that one.
That for me is really bad refereeing.
Down below, what do you think? Was it a penalty? Was it? No.
Definitely not.
So.
No, it was.
It was a penalty.
I wrote clumsy penalty. Definitely penalty.
I think it's one of those, if it's against your side, you're absolutely raging.
Well, my team don't get penalties, so my team don't get penalties all the time, so
exactly.
You can score a penalty, but that's not the point.
The red cards.
I was going to talk about
Carry on, Robert.
Shut it a wee bit. I mean, it was saved, but I think good awareness from Lundstrom's getting there first. Can't argue that too much. You're gutted if you're a Hibs fan after conceding a penalty, saving said penalty, and then getting conceded off the rebound. But
Yeah.
wait, go on. I'll let you talk about the red cards and then I'll give my view.
Obita is an idiot. However, like the second yellow is an idiot. It's an idiotic thing to do when you're on a yellow card. However, I think it's really harsh.
He's not just punched him.
You're asking for it.
I don't think he's just punched
swinging
him.
arms about, asking for it. You're on a yellow.
If you're running like that, your guy hits somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you expect him to do? Run with his arms at the side?
Well, run like a normal person.
Yeah.
He's doing a run like this. Me or you?
Me or you minx?
Especially though, like the argument is he's trying to fend off Matata.
I mean, usually you do that. You don't.
What,
like,
with his hand in his face?
What, you do that, Kyle, and elbow them?
like use like your shoulders, like put your body in front of it. I'm not.
Yeah, but
I've got a chair.
that just relies on the attacking player to then run into your elbow.
No, if you have like do like that. Oh, I'm offended of all.
I think it's harsh. But he gives the referee a decision to make. The referee was only too happy to oblige.
Exactly. Asking for it. Should have done it.
But the second one is just a loss of head.
That's just a dirty bastard.
Defo second red.
He literally leaves the ground. That's all that you need to know to justify red card.
He stopped us on all roads.
That could have been a very serious one if he caught him like really properly.
Yeah.
It was only 1-0 at that point, so they were still in the game, weren't they? I'm right with that, I know.
They'd just gone down to 10 men, though.
I know, but they were still in the game.
They were still in the game. They'd just gone down to 10 men. They'd felt aggrieved by the decision.
Fair play. Get my
He lost his head.
No, it's not how it works.
Well, I'm raging, so I'm going to get another red card to make this even harder for my team.
But that's what folk do. They lose their heads. You know, if you're a Hibs player, or even a Hibs manager, like if you're a Hibs player, Hibs manager in that situation, you probably feel aggrieved about the penalty. You probably feel aggrieved about a beater's red card. Both of them, you know, as we both said, you can justify both of them. But if you're a Hibs player, you feel cheated. You lose your head, you make a tackle like that. It's utterly stupid from the boy.
Very much so. But someone who didn't lose his head was Silva. I thought it was a great finish. He's got a kind of something about him, I have to say. We won't be able to afford him when it comes to actually trying to make it permanent, but I think he's a great player.
Has he found his level? Because I don't think he's ever looked that good for Wolves. I don't think I've ever watched him for Wolves and thought...
He's too good for Scottish football.
Do you think?
No.
I'd say he would do well elsewhere. I mean, I would love to keep him. He's a great player. But I don't think he's going to get a chance at Wolves.
He's not quite young. I don't know who he is.
He scored 4 goals in 62 appearances for Wolves, all in the Premier League.
The stats weren't good. The stats weren't good when he made his way up, but he's shown he's good on the pitch.
Maybe he needs to kickstart his career in Wolves.
He's 21, Kyle.
So a wee good half season in Scotland, he could be in the Premier League next season. Dame bits.
I don't think he could. I think he still needs time. He made 20 appearances last season for Anderlecht and scored 7 goals and 4 goals and 14 for PSV Eindhoven.
It's all confidence. Football is just all about confidence.
I mean, yes.
And ability, but mostly confidence.
He's a good player. I hope it does become permanent, but we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Third time a lone player became good. Like a big name lone player. Ramsey.
Yeah, probably didn't live up to the full potential, but he wasn't horrendous. He won me 25 quid. When me and Kel were sitting in a pub in Dumfries, I chucked a £5 on him to score first, and he did.
Well,
man. Thanks, man.
Anything else you want to say about this game?
What I expected. We move on to the semis.
You
move on to a crucial Europa League game. We're going to go into the Europa League in depth next week.
Kick the table.
Oh no, penalty Rangers. Aberdeen 3, Kilmarnock 1. Neil Warnock finishing his Aberdeen career with a win.
On trip to Kilmarnock, he was done. Don't blame him.
It was at Pittodrie.
I thought it was at Kilmarnock, sorry.
No.
Sorry, one visit from Kilmarnock, he's done.
Yeah.
Because threatened him. Do you want my observations first?
Yes.
I have to say, Hoylett involved in the first 2 goals. Looked quite good.
Yeah,
He's a good player, though,
I
isn't
thought
he?
it might have been a wee washed up, just playing for the sake of it. But yeah,
Ex-Cardiff, sure.
yes, ex-Cardiff, sure.
So's Warnock, though.
So is Warnock, yes. I was speaking to a man on Saturday who found out I was Scottish and said that he really liked Malky Mackay, and he shouldn't have said what he said about Vincent Tan. Otherwise, Malky Mackay would have been fantastic for Cardiff.
He's an
I'm not sure
evil
about that
man.
one. Yes. Danny Armstrong doing the business for
He's some player.
Granth again. He is some player.
I think I don't know the other guys. The other winger, he's quite good. Can't use a name on top of my head though.
It's not coming to me either.
what's the name? Dan Armstrong.
But yes, yes, hi Dan.
London.
There was rumours that Rangers and Celtic were probing around Danny Armstrong in the most Bayern Munich way possible.
I missed every saying. I think they Bayern Munich wanted him as well. I was like, surely no.
No.
He's
you never know these days.
Yeah, but Warnock's gone. Didn't expect that. I thought he still would have just put it out to the end of the season.
See, a lot of people interpreted that as Warnock being like that. Warnock leaving because Aberdeen were ready to appoint someone. Yeah, it doesn't look like they are.
So he said to them, well, in an interview, he apparently said that they need to be looking like as soon as he got the job. So I think he's maybe realised that the long distance ain't working. But,
He's got a house up in Dunoon or something.
Does he?
Apparently so.
Friends.
Well, residency.
But that's still like.
I think his wife's down south still, so.
Yeah, wife's in Cornwall. It's a long trek. It's, the other thing is, he's not made any. They still look shit.
No, he's trying to manage Scotland. That's what it was.
He just wanted a decent seat for the Rangers game. Somebody edited a photo of him in the crowd and somebody that made me laugh.
Yeah, they're now 10th. Ross County.
They're not going down, so.
Oh, you never know. They're only 4 points ahead of Ross County.
I'll rephrase. They're not going down automatically.
No, they're not going down automatically.
Pending disaster.
I sadly think the ship has now sailed about. It maybe hasn't sailed with Wraith winning the championship. But, if Wraith managed to win the championship, we could get an Aberdeen Dundee United playoff final. And that
Aberdeen in the second play. That's mental.
I know, that'd be mental if it did happen.
But that's the thing. It's happened to Hearts, Hibs.
Aberdeen are like European, ex-European champions. That's fried.
Dundee United, not the same European pedigree. Dundee United have we beat Barcelona as European pedigree.
I don't so.
No one is too big to go down, especially not in that league, which is so tight.
It'll be interesting. I don't think they'll go down, but I think it would be funny.
Depends who's in charge for the rest of the season, to be fair.
I think they've just named coaches who were already there as in charge for the rest of the season.
Josh Dodd at the end of the season.
No. On that note, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the category game. So, after my crushing defeat last week to Kyle, he is once again champion. And we have brought the category game back once again to Kyle's dismay. As you all know, this is just a simple game of categories. I give you a category, they have to alternate answers and saying a correct one. If you get a correct answer, I will give you a nice wee ding. If you get it wrong, then you will hear and if you take too long and start stalling, Naveed will come and tell you to hurry up. Choice of categories, as ever. Robert, as the challenger, gets to pick. You can have this week transfers, managers, or relegation.
Transfers.
Transfers to start. So,
what did transfers start?
Those of you regular listeners will know that the last time I done this game, we had Real Madrid's top 25 most expensive ever signings. So I was thinking of some other teams who like to splash the cash. This week, I want Manchester City's top 25 most expensive signings. I will tell you now that number 26 is Edin Dzeko who cost 37 million euros. Robert, to start.
Ederson.
25.
Jeez.
Jack Grealish.
Oh, choice.
1.
Oh, fuck. I thought it was.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's obvious answers, but then I don't know.
Can I just? What was Dzeko's price again?
37 million.
There's
Uh,
doesn't really matter.
I don't know because I can't remember who came on a free and who didn't. Fernandinho.
24.
I'm getting good at this.
Surely Haaland.
11.
I thought him, but couldn't remember. Raheem Sterling.
Excuse me.
9.
Jeez.
Ruben Diaz.
4.
Cancelo.
7.
Surely Kyle Walker's on that.
15.
Aki.
Nathan Ake, number 19.
Uh,
I'm getting the high ones.
what about Rodri?
Number 5.
Oh, how many more? We shouldn't have too many left, do we?
Oh, yeah, you're about halfway through.
Oh, I feel there's some really obvious ones that aren't sticking in my head. Kevin De Bruyne.
Correct. Number 3.
Riyad Mahrez.
Number 6.
It's sound. I really, really want to say Rubinho, but I feel like it's not. Rubinho. I don't know.
22.
Oh yes.
Benjamin Mendy.
Benjamin Mendy. Number 13.
Oh.
There's still some ones you should get left. There's a couple you should.
I know, but I'm trying to remember in my head which ones I've actually said. You said Kyle Walker.
I'm gonna start being
Zinchenko?
Alexander Zinchenko.
No, it's not. You said to move the mouse.
Okay.
Not
Is it?
right.
No.
You didn't give him a buzz.
Kyle,
Um,
okay to take it. Otherwise, we go back.
I think this is gonna be wrong, but I just forgot what his name was now. Oh shit. John Stones.
Nah, good show.
Points,
Good show.
Kyle, number 14. The ones you missed. I'll start from the
Uh,
bottom and go up the way.
Alvarez.
Alvarez is not on that
He was-
list.
he was
That was
at
actually going to
Leeds.
be my next guess.
That's what I wanted, but I forgot his name.
Other ones are Sergio Aguero,
Oh.
Oh.
Nicholas Otamendi, Eliki Mangala, Calvin Phillips, Bernardo
Silva?
Silva,
Oh, Silva.
Leroy Sané, Jeremy Doku, Mateus Nunez, Emerick Laporte, and the Manchester City's second most expensive signing, Josko Gvardiol.
I forgot about him.
So Kyle, you can have managers or relegation.
Let's see what- let's
I
see
was-
what-
Wait, before you go, I was hoping one would be Scott Carson.
He was
Yeah.
definitely free, was he not?
No, it's 100 million. Let's see what relegations is saying.
Oh, here we go.
It's a unique category. I've not heard that before. So
It really
Yeah.
is.
I was trying
Uh,
to say that for last, but
So there are
Somebody should-
15 potential answers here. I want you to name any team that has had one of the worst 20 Premier League points totals. So, same as last week with the Scottish Cup finals, there are 20 worst ever seasons in Premier League history. There are 15 teams that have had those 20 worst seasons. I just need you to name them. I will say this season obviously doesn't count because it's no finished yet.
is it me go
Uh,
first now?
Kyle's go first.
Derby.
Derby County.
Blackpool. Just
Well done,
Oh,
Kyle.
good start.
Southampton.
Do I keep going? Just
Southampton,
gotta ruin
Southampton
that one.
last year, yeah.
Burnley.
Surely Norwich.
Shout about Burnley's a no.
Is it not? Jesus. Well, I deserve
Norwich.
to lose this one.
Norwich, yeah.
Um,
Come on, I wouldn't put it in if it wasn't true.
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Sunderland, obviously.
Sunderland, 3 of Premier League's worst ever point totals are Sunderland.
Cardiff, maybe? No.
No, Cardiff got relegated 2 weeks before final day. So you've got Aston Villa, Bradford City, the other ones you didn't get, Fulham,
Swindon.
no. Huddersfield, Ipswich, Portsmouth, because they had points deducted. QPR, Watford, West Brom, and Wolves. Today, name a Premier League yo-yo team. So it's 2-0 to Kyle. We'll do the last one just to see how you would have got on. 20 answers to this. I wanted any manager in charge of an English Premier League side at the start of a last season.
Guardiola.
Yep.
Klopp.
Arteta.
Yep.
This is where it goes. I'm
Everyone else
gonna
got
go
sacked.
Tuchel.
Yep.
Conte.
Yep. Was in charge at Spurs.
Can't remember the teams in the league last season.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think.
Go on, Robert.
Pochettino? Was he not at Spurs? Or was that after?
He would have still been at PSG.
Edward Howe.
Edward Howe, yes. Just shout them out now.
Just a few.
So Man United manager is escaping me. I can't remember. I don't think Ten.
Oh,
I think Ten Hag was before that, wasn't it?
Solskjaer.
Was it Solskjaer?
No, it was Ten Hag.
Was it Ten Hag? I
No,
thought it
it
was
was.
after that.
No, it was Ten Hag.
I like,
Any
like
others?
David Moyes.
David Moyes, yeah.
David.
Got to make him.
He's
Got to
not
make him
supposed to
fantastic.
that. Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard at Villa.
Well done.
Graham
What do you
Potter.
got? Graham Potter at Brighton. Other ones you didn't get. Scott Parker at Bournemouth before he got sacked. Before the season started.
Hodgson.
Thomas Frank. No. Vieira.
Hodgson was in my head, and that's all I could think about. And then I knew it wasn't him because I knew he joined after. But I couldn't think.
Other ones: Frank Lampard, Marco Silva, Jesse Marsh, Brendan Rodgers, Steve Cooper, Ralph Hasenhüttl, and Bruno Lage.
That first round started so well, we got loads, and then it just went.
And then it descended into you saying Blackpool, and that just. I was hoping you would remember that Blackpool did much better than anyone thought they would.
But they went down last day, didn't they?
Yeah, they went down last day.
Man U. Oh well.
Yes.
2-0.
Well done, Kyle.
Streak's 2 now.
The streak is now on 2. And we are moving on to the predictions. And well, last week, Kyle got 3, Robert got 3, and thanks to me predicting that Annan Athletic would beat Coon of the South, I got 4 points. It's a whole win. That takes the overall scores to Kyle on 72, Robert on 78, and Greg on 86. This week, it's Kyle's turn to pick the games. First game, Scottish Premiership, Hibs versus Livingston. Hibs playing Ross County this week, but 6th, 7 points behind 5th place Kelly, and unbeaten in the last 4 games. Livingston are 6 points adrift at the bottom.
Are they unbeaten if they just lost to Rangers?
League games.
Oh, right. Well,
Hibs. I think
Hibs for me too.
Livingston played well, but I think the High Bees will be back with a win.
they're playing Ross County, so no, not. That's Aberdeen. Sorry.
No. Yes.
They're
playing Ross County midweek.
I looked at Ross County as well. That's why.
Yes.
My mistake.
Scottish Championship, Partick Thistle versus Morton. There's no Boyne in Partick at the minute. They're 7 without a win and haven't won since the 6th of January. 5 of those 7 have been draws, including a 1-1 draw against Morton. Morton are 3 points below them, but have not won in 3 games themselves, and are only 6 points above Inverness, who are 9th, despite the fact that Morton are 4th. The Scottish Championship do be mental. I'm going for another draw.
So am I, because you've fried me and I'm embarrassed for my mistake.
I'm going to go Partick. I think they'll get back to winning ways.
That's what it was for Partick. League 1, Kelty Hearts versus Cove Rangers. Kelty on a run of 4 straight losses. They play Cove, who have lost their last 2, but are 2 places and 9 points better off than Kelty.
Draw for me.
Cove for me.
Draw.
League 2, Stranraer versus Elgin. Stranraer sit 6 points with bottom side Clyde, but only won 1 of their last 4. Elgin are in 7th, 2 places and 2 points above Stranraer, and have only lost 1 in their last 5. Stranraer have won 2 of the 3 competitive fixtures so far this season.
Stranraer in Scotland today, and I'm going Elgin.
You're going Elgin. I am going a draw.
I'm going to think the Stranraer boys.
FA Cup, Wales versus Coventry City. Wales sit 9th in the Premier League and have won 3 of their last 5, though they are the second lowest scorers in the top half after Manchester United. Coventry are 8th in the Championship and 1 point off the playoffs. They have also won 3 of their last 5 in the league. They are not going to make the playoffs because the famous Cardiff City are making the playoffs.
I think the Coventry fairy tale ends at Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves for me. 3 Wolves. And the last game, I assume Kyle's put these in here to make me sound like an umpty. It's the J League. It's Kashiwa Reysol versus Nagoya Grampus. 3 games into the J League season. The home side are undefeated with 7 points. 3 consecutive defeats for the away side, who are also yet to score and are the only side without a point in the division.
The home team.
Yes.
And mate.
I just picked it because I knew that's
3. But if I'd picked
team.
that, it would have been tears.
I think you'll find I moaned anyway.
That's fucking normal though.
Yes, it is. 3 for the home team. That's the end of the predictions for this week. I'm hoping one of you is doing the FPL update.
No, you do it.
On it.
I will also say game week's not finished yet.
Yeah, there's still Chelsea, Newcastle, currently sitting at 1-1, so
Hey, Newcastle have scored.
all to play for. That's why I didn't tell you. None's really changed since last week. Number 1 is still Darren Whitty Whitfield. Number 2 is Kyle Pagan.
Well done, Kyle. Keep it up, son.
Keep up the good work, young man.
No, Kyle, don't.
Number 3 is Nathan Stewart.
Well done, Nathaniel.
And then 4th, who has moved a place, is him, Greg.
Hello, this is Greg here from the edit. At this point, I made a lovely dig at Kyle Pagan, which has since backfired on me, so I have removed it from this podcast. I would apologise, but I don't really care. Anyway, that's the end of the clean sheet for this week.
At least you're not bothered.
See you next week with hopefully a nicer host.
I think you'll find I've not read out my name yet.
Or mine's.
I don't give a shit where you are. We're ending the podcast.
Well, I'm 6th, he's 15th.
I'm just
Patty
consistent.
bye.
I don't like him anymore.
Godspeed, if it's time for that.